What if the love you've been waiting for your entire life finally stood right in front of you, but you didn't know if it was real? That's exactly the emotional storm that explodes in the finale of The Summer I Turned Pretty, one of the most talked about shows of the year. And let me tell you, this wasn't just a TV finale, it was a cultural moment. Fans treated it like the Super Bowl of teen romance, with watch parties, online meltdowns, and debates that shook entire fandoms. Today, we're diving deep into the final season's emotional climax, the shocking decisions, the fan wars, and the future of the Cousins universe that Jenny Han is already teasing. Get ready, because this ride is going to take you right into the heart of the story. The third and final season had been building toward one burning question. Who would Isabel, or Belly as she's known, ultimately choose? Conrad or Jeremiah? The love triangle has always been at the core of the show, and fans have split into camps as fiercely loyal as any sports rivalry. Team Conrad and Team Jeremiah weren't just hashtags. They became full-blown identities, sparking heated arguments, endless TikTok edits, and unfortunately, even abusive comments aimed at the actors themselves. The tension leading up to the finale was so intense that Prime Video and creator Jenny Han had to step in and plead with viewers to remember the difference between fiction and reality. But the controversy only fueled the anticipation. Everyone knew that the final episode would answer the question fans had been asking for years. Who does Belly end up with? The episode wastes no time in throwing fans into the emotional fire. Belly is in Paris, living in her adopted French home, about to celebrate her 22nd birthday. And then, without warning, Conrad shows up. Picture this, the city of lights, Belly preparing for a quiet birthday, and suddenly there he is, the boy who has haunted her heart since the beginning. His arrival isn't just a casual visit. It's a declaration, a final move in this long, complicated game of love and heartbreak. The chemistry between them is undeniable, but it's also clouded by years of miscommunication and mistrust. As viewers, we can feel Belly's hesitation through the screen. Can she trust him this time? Does Conrad really mean what he says, or is he just caught in the moment? The day unfolds with subtle twists and turns, the kind that make you wonder whether fate is pulling the strings. They share moments that bring back memories of summers past, moments that remind Belly and the audience why Conrad has always been so difficult to let go of. Yet, when the crucial confession comes, Belly doesn't fall into his arms immediately. Conrad pours his heart out, telling her he loves her, but Belly pushes back. Her voice is steady but trembling with doubt. She says she doesn't know if his feelings are genuine. It's the kind of line that cuts straight to the bone, because after everything, what she needs isn't grand gestures. It's truth and certainty. Conrad, crushed, turns to leave. He's walking away, and for a moment it seems like this is how it ends. Another chance lost, another heartbreak cemented. But this show has always thrived on emotional crescendos, and the finale gives fans the cinematic moment they've been waiting for. Belly, realizing what she's about to lose, bolts through the streets of Paris. The soundtrack swells, and Taylor Swift's Out of the Woods explodes in the background, underscoring the urgency and desperation of her choice. The visual of Belly running, Paris lights flashing, the music pounding. It's television magic, the kind of scene that fans will replay again and again on YouTube edits and TikTok compilations. She catches Conrad just as he's boarding his train. Out of breath, eyes full of tears, she declares the words that have been trapped in her heart for years. If there are infinite worlds, every version of me chooses you in every one of them. It's a confession so raw and absolute that it hits like a tidal wave. Conrad, stunned, pulls her into his arms, and at last, the central question of the series is answered. She chooses him. Not Jeremiah, not uncertainty, Conrad. Fans erupted online within minutes. TikTok was flooded with clips, some set to ABBA's The Winner Takes It All. One post screamed, "She chooses him," with thousands of likes pouring in. Another fan wrote simply, "I am so happy," followed by crying emojis. And across social media, the refrain echoed, "Finally, finally." But what about Jeremiah, the other piece of this love triangle that's driven the story for 3 seasons? The finale doesn't leave him in despair. Back in Cousins, Massachusetts, Jeremiah finds his own closure. He begins a relationship with Denise, and perhaps more importantly, he reconciles with his dad. It's not the epic love story fans argued over, but it's a different kind of happy ending. One rooted in healing and moving forward. For a character who spent so long in the shadow of his brother, Jeremiah finally finds peace. In its own way, it's just as satisfying because it means everyone can walk away with something. For the fans, though, the finale wasn't just about the characters. It became an event. In Manchester, England, a 20-year-old fan named Glenta Ekagare hosted a full-on finale watch party. For her, the series wasn't just entertainment, it was comfort. She explained that she started watching during the pandemic, a time when the world felt uncertain and isolating. Watching Belly's journey felt relatable, even if she joked she never had two brothers fighting over her. For Glenta, the show wasn't just about romance. It was about growing up, finding yourself, and holding on to something joyful when the world outside feels overwhelming. Her watch party wasn't just for fun. It was also a charity fundraiser, proving that this show has created real-life communities, bringing strangers together through shared love for Cousins Beach. And make no mistake, the numbers back up just how massive this cultural wave has been. Prime Video reported that Season 3 broke records, drawing 25 million viewers in its first week alone. It topped the charts in 120 countries and became the platform's most-watched season among women ages 18 to 34. For perspective, that kind of reach is staggering. It puts The Summer I Turned Pretty in the same conversation as some of the biggest streaming hits of all time. Creator Jenny Han even compared the phenomenon to the Super Bowl, saying she loved seeing people come together to watch the show in the same way families gather for the big game. For a story about love, heartbreak, and self-discovery, that's an incredible legacy. But the road to this finale hasn't been without its bumps. Jenny Han has spoken out about the darker side of fandom, particularly the online abuse aimed at the cast. She reminded viewers that while it's fine to debate characters, it's not okay to insult the real people playing them. Comments about appearance or mannerisms don't just disappear into the void. They hurt. And in a world where social media can blur the line between fiction and reality, her message was clear. Love the story, but protect the people behind it. And then came the final twist. Not in the plot, but in the credits. As the episode closed, Jenny Han left fans a heartfelt message. She thanked everyone who had been with Belly since the very first book, as well as those who discovered her through the series. She wrote about how much love and effort went into creating this story, and how grateful she was that fans had made it part of their summers. And then, the tease that lit the internet on fire, maybe we'll meet again one summer in Cousins. Those words were enough to spark immediate speculation. Could there be a spin-off? Maybe a sequel focusing on Conrad and Belly's life after Paris? Or perhaps Jeremiah's journey with Denise? Fans don't want to let go, and Han knows it. Critics have also weighed in. Radio Times wrote that while the finale wrapped up the central question, viewers would devour any follow-up. They pointed out that fans aren't just invested in Belly and Conrad. They also want to know what happens next for Jeremiah, for Stephen and Taylor, for everyone in this world that Jenny Han built. In other words, the door may be closed, but the window is wide open. At the heart of all this, though, is the emotional journey that's defined the series from the start. Belly's story has always been about more than just romance. It's about growing into adulthood, navigating loss, friendship, identity, and the messy, beautiful chaos of love. The final scene, Belly declaring her eternal choice for Conrad, is more than just an ending. It's a statement about clarity, about choosing not just who you love, but the life you want to live. It resonates because it's something everyone can relate to. That moment when you finally stop doubting and say, "This is it. This is what I want." So as the credits roll and fans wipe away their tears, what are we left with? A finale that gave closure, a fandom that feels seen, and the promise of more summers in Cousins. Whether Jenny Han delivers a spin-off or not, The Summer I Turned Pretty has carved out a permanent place in pop culture. It's a story that grew from books into a global phenomenon, and it ended with the kind of emotional punch that ensures we'll be talking about it for years to come. And maybe that's the true magic of this series. Not just the romance, not just the drama, but the way it brought people together. Whether in heated online debates, at charity watch parties, or simply curled up on a couch, crying over Belly chasing Conrad through Paris. One thing is certain. In every world, every version of the story, the summer we turned pretty will never really end.